Hi everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Lightbody and welcome to Outdoor Adventures. Well, traditionally you may think of Colorado as the land of big, huge monster bull elk and big mule deer bucks. But Colorado also has a couple other secrets up its sleeve in terms of the fact that it's also got some pretty good turkey hunting. Now there's two different kinds of turkey hunting. There's out there on the open plains that roll from Denver down to Pueblo and all the way across up to the the Kansas border areas. And then there's the areas where you do traditionally hunt the mule deer and the elk. And that's where we are today. We're up in the high mountains of Colorado, and joining us is Jeff Miner, who's going to be our guide for a spring turkey hunt, well, not too far from Grand Junction, Colorado. Jeff, Cache Creek Outfitters is your company.
That's correct.
You guys hunt on the Louisiana Purchase Ranch up here. Where are we exactly?
Well, we're actually we're about 45 miles east of Grand Junction, in what we consider they call the Plateau Valley.
Mm-hmm.
It's between Grand Mesa and the Battlement Mesa.
Okay, and we coming in today. The season will be opening here tomorrow. But coming in today, we've already seen turkeys. We've heard a few turkeys in and around. Looks like we're kind of in a target-rich environment.
Well, we've got a lot of birds here. In the last 5 years, the turkey population in this area has really exploded. It's not hunted very hard.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure is relatively low considering a lot of your southern states or midwestern states where they have a lot of pressure. We don't have that here, so we're favorable that way. And the birds are concentrated in an area because, as you can see, we have a lot of snow in the high country yet, so they're not up all the way high yet like they are in the summer and the fall where they've moved up all the way up the mountain. So we've concentrated these birds a lot in the river bottoms and in these drainages, so we're able to see quite a few birds.
What kind of birds are we hunting? I mean, there's the 5 major species. This one is kind of unique.
Well, we're hunting the Merriam turkey. He is, as in the turkey species, like I said, there's 5 major species in the U.S. and we run hunts for the Merriams, which is probably one of the larger birds, body weight wise. It is the smallest bearded bird of the turkey species. An 8-inch, 9-inch beard is actually trophy class in this area. Most of the beards you're going to see of a Merriam is going to be 6 to 8 inches. And they don't.
So the hunter's going to have to be careful on that because you can only shoot a bearded bird. So
that's correct.
You better look real close, huh?
Well, you'll see 2-year-old birds here, 2-year-old jakes, that won't show a beard protruding at all, and which is really unheard of on an eastern bird. As a 2-year-old bird, he's going to have a pretty decent beard already, where these birds don't. I mean, they'll be slick-breasted, and you'll know it's a jake. You'll know he'll be gobbling and talking, but he will not be a legal bird to shoot in our area here.
So watch yourself.
Absolutely watch it. Yeah.
Or listen to your guide saying, don't shoot the one on the left, right? Don't take that one.
I mean, a lot of times you'll see a gobbling bird, and it'll be looking away from you or things of that nature, or even some of these birds that you'll see filmed are fanning out and strutting, and if we just go by that, it could be an illegal bird because he does not have a visible beard. And that's different than most of the species.
What makes this area very unique and certainly would be a draw to hunters that would want to come and book with you and stay in your operation, is the fact that you're in an area where you don't have to put in January for a tag. You're able to come in, be a resident or a non-resident, and buy one over the counter. How unique is that?
Well, it is nice. I mean, the Eastern Plains, of course, which gets a lot of publicity, I guess you want to say, for turkeys, and they got a lot of turkeys over there, but it's very limited on getting licenses. It's all draw. The western side of the state over here, most of the western slope of Colorado is in and over-the-counter areas. So you can come in, like we'll go down now, we'll buy our licenses, y'all come in, and when Kevin gets here, we'll go in and get his licenses and do all of that, and we can buy them right over the counter without all of the hassle of having to apply ahead of time and drawing. And so we know that when we book a client to come in, we have that client coming hunting.
Let's talk about your hunting operation here. We're out in front of your house. You like to keep the parties to basically 2 hunters at a time. What, maybe 6 during the season in total?
Yes, 6 to 8 would, maximum. I mean, and that sounds like it's a low volume, which it is. because, like I said before, you have the opportunity to see a lot of jakes and a lot of birds, but not all of them are going to be bearded, full bearded adult mature birds. And we don't want to just shoot the population down to where we don't have a viable number to hunt every year.
Sustainable and renewable.
So if we run 6 to 8 hunters in a time frame that, in our business, of course, Andy, and you know our operation, it's a slow time for us in the spring. So it kind of gets us in the mood a little bit of hunting again, and it's just another aspect and being diversified in the outdoor recreation industry.
Your operation here at Cache Creek, you can take 2 hunters and put them there right in your house. You've got a real nice loft upstairs, where people can, as we found out, spread out all their gear. Of course, we travel light, but it's like light artillery with cameras and everything else. But all-inclusive, I mean, they can come, you can pick them up at the airport, they can stay with you guys, meals, etc.
That's right. We run a 4-day hunt. It's all-inclusive, meals. If they fly into Grand Junction for this hunt. We pick them up there at the airport. All of that's included. And all the guide fees, of course, and is included. And we run that for a 4-day hunt at $1,000.
You bring in, they don't have to bring their own blinds, they don't have to bring their own decoys, things like that. I mean,
we run everything.
Okay.
So, I mean, and a lot of guys, one thing about turkey hunters, and we know that. I mean, it's a little bit different than elk hunting, where not every state in the country has elk, and which we know. I mean, it is spreading out in some areas, but turkeys are hunted basically nationwide now. So a lot of our hunters that come are experienced callers, are experienced turkey hunters, and we want them, if they don't want to call, we definitely will call. We want them, because they do hunt a lot of turkeys, other species. We want them to be involved if they want to. So a lot of our hunters, bring their calls, and do a lot of calling with us, and it makes for a good hunt that way too. Where in the elk situation, they're not doing a lot of calling. We're basically handling all of that ourselves. But the turkey hunting is very unique.
When they quote, should I say, established elk hunters starts blowing on that bull elk bugle and it sounds like a foghorn, you got problems.
Well, it is, and they're not used to having them species every day.
Right.
Where the turkeys, a lot of guys spend, actually, and it's true, a lot of turkey hunters that come to us spend more time in the turkey woods than we do. We have a fairly long season. It's over a month long here, from start to finish, and we don't have different weeks or anything like from opening day till the end we can hunt. But
and you can hunt all day.
We hunt all day here, which is very
dawn to dusk.
Very unique. We don't
noon restrictions.
We don't quit at noon and all of that, so we can hunt all day. A lot of times we don't. We get done, 10:30, 11 o'clock. We'll come back, have a lunch or a late breakfast, and get back out. If the guys want to stay out all day, we'll pack a lunch here and stay out in the field and hunt. But yeah, we can hunt morning till night, and it is a unique deal that way too.
Once Kevin gets in, we get our license. We're going to head out to the range. We're just going to do a quick sight in and make sure that the shotguns are patterning correctly and things like that. How are we going to hunt the birds? Where are we going to expect to see them yardage-wise, things like that? I mean,
well, we're hoping to get these birds, inside, typically 20, 30, 40 yards. And I mean, that's where we'd like to have them, into the decoy spread. So we're gonna do some calling. We're gonna be doing some decoying. We also have the blinds, of course, from actually
Gorillas. Yeah.
Sent them in. So we're gonna be using their blinds a little bit this week, and we got to getting them set up and see what we can do. Now we may have to run and gun a little bit too as these birds move, but we're hoping we can get them to come right into the decoys. And
if you can't explain run and gun.
Well,
obviously you want to sit and bring the birds to you, but sometimes that's not possible.
No, sometimes these birds are
well, they got other things on their mind in the springtime too. You got to keep that in mind.
And they're going to certain places. These birds are a lot like elk. It's a lot like elk hunting. And I try to tell everybody when we're selling hunts, of course, and I reference our elk hunting to the turkey hunting because it's almost exactly the same. And these birds are doing several things. They're getting off the roost in the morning. They're going to water. They're going to have some feed. They're going to strut. And then they're going to go up and find a place where they can dust and lay down. So when we say run and gun, we're trying to get between those two areas. And basically sometimes we have to spot and stalk, which is not conventional turkey hunting, especially when these bigger birds are henned up tight, and they get henned up, and it's a little bit tougher to bring them bigger birds, away from them hens and get them into you.
Now, because of the fact that you're a big game guide and outfitter as well, and pretty good record on the bull elk and mule deer and what have you in the same area, you guys do not guide for turkey in the fall.
No,
and you were saying to me before we went on camera, it's more if you buy a license, it's a target of opportunity, and there's a lot of reasons why. They're not strutting, they're not gobbling, they're
it's just it's not a conventional. Again, it's not a conventional time to hunt turkey. Colorado does have the fall turkey season, so people can go ahead and buy a license and hunt them as a extra species during a mule deer or elk hunt. We just do not, because again,
you don't put the push on them.
We're trying to hunt elk and mule deer at that time,
yeah.
and that's our main concern. And so to add another species involved in there just takes time away from what our priority is, and at that time of the year. So the springtime is a great time to be out here because that is our main focus.
When we get into the turkey areas, what are you looking for? Are you looking for the heavy woods, the dark timber, like you would see for the elk and the mule deer, or are you looking for more open areas where you can?
Well, they want to get in the open, of course, to strut.
Okay.
That's a big thing with them gobblers. They want to get out and display and show off, and we want to have nice days. When you get the cloudy, miserable snow and blowing snow and rain, those birds will stay a little tighter. They're going to get up in that cover. They may not come out at all, and that's something that, again, in the Colorado Rockies, in mid-April, we can have a lot of different things.
Flip a coin, like Mark Twain said. Don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
Well, it's true, and we're so up and down this time of the year, all the way through May. But that's what makes it exciting. I mean, every day's not the same.
What's our altitude here for the flatlanders that may be coming up? And
we're about 6,000 feet right here,
okay.
And we're going to be hunting anywhere between 5,500 up to 7,500.
Okay, so we're not going to be doing the super high above timberline type stuff that you would traditionally associate with a mule deer or an elk hunt. So you're going to be, how should I say, not so winded, but still by the same token.
It's still
prepared
high.
to take it a little easy.
Sure, it's still high.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't realize you're coming from 0 sea level to 6,000 or 7,000 feet. It's still up here, and as you can look around and see the country, it's not flat.
No.
One thing about being out west is we have two directions, and it's up and down.
Of course, we say wherever we're at, it seems that we start here and everything's up from around us.
It just doesn't. We don't have much flat ground, and so there is some walking involved, but it's not like the big pushes, in elk season, of course. But and we're calling, we're getting these birds off the roost. That's our job, is to get these birds patterned to where we know where they're roosting at, and being able to set up off the roost and call them down into us, and that's really what people are paying us for.
What basic gear does somebody need to bring if they're planning on coming turkey hunting with you? I mean, obviously, this matches that cedary stuff back behind us. That's a mossy oak kind of a pattern type thing. So they bring their own camo, I would guess. And
basically, whatever they're using in any area of the country for turkey equipment, and turkey is a turkey. And even though he's a different species and a different color, incredible white-tipped fans on him. They're a beautiful bird.
And big.
They are big.
They're big.
They're bigger bodied. They are, like I say, body-wise, they're the largest species of the turkey family. So
20, 25 pounds?
Yeah, and we'll see birds upwards. Big gobblers will be upwards of 30 pounds.
Jeez.
28 is not uncommon.
Wow.
Where an eastern bird, 22, 24 pounds, 25 pounds is a pretty big bird, an exceptionally big bird, and that a 23 to 25 pound bird will be average for us. They are a very body style wise, but we want them to bring the same equipment that they're using at home.
Okay.
Shotgun wise, same thing. I mean, it's the same.
Good, dependable 12 gauge.
Yeah, I mean, the same setups that, and even youth hunters. A lot of turkeys been killed with a 20 gauge shotgun, and people say, well, it's a little light. Not really. If the bird's in close, we're making good shots. We got good loads.
Yeah, I was saying the loads nowadays are so.
Sure. Exactly.
Made the 20 much more closer equivalent to a 12 gauge anyway.
Exactly, and so we don't want to discourage shooting something that's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, we're talking turkey hunting, but that goes the exact same for elk and mule deer. You know, everybody says, well, what gun should I bring? Or should I buy a new rifle? I would much rather see our clients come with the rifle they shoot every day because they're comfortable with it, they know where it hits, rather than buying a rifle that they can't handle or that they're scared to handle.
Scared of. There you go.
You know, it's just not used to, not comfortable. So our business is no different than hunting whitetail deer or any turkey species anywhere else in the country. It's being comfortable with the equipment that you use every day.
We got them both. As we wrap this up, if people would like more information about coming and hunting with you, either the spring turkey season or even additional information about your big game operations, send them to a website, give them a phone number, get information about, and plan on coming out next spring?
Yeah, they can go to several websites. One being cache-creek-outfitters.com. One being the louisianapurchase.com, and one being shootout.com. All of those will get
you right back in.
Get back into our sites, and then call us direct. Number out here is 970-268-5205.
Pretty simple.
So it's
well, we're gonna go pick up our friend Kevin Howard from Howard Communications. You're gonna see a lot of him. He represents a lot of outdoor companies. Been a good friend of ours for many years, bringing us some latest equipment to play with, to try in the field, see if we can help outsmart these turkeys. And obviously with Jeff and his crew here at the Cache Creek, outfitting group, it's time to go spring turkey hunting. We'll be high in the mountains.